attendance sheet. I changed it a little from last time. It's listed by area number, so that'll make it a little easier for you to find yourselves on here. If you've been here to a meeting before, you're already on the list, just check yourself off and make sure that the other information, email and stuff on there is accurate. If you haven't been here before, there's blank pages towards the end. Just follow the same format. Your name, your area number, email. Are you on Facebook so other people can be friends with you? Your phone number, and check yourself off for the November 15th meeting, okay? So, Brian, looks like I'm working around the room.
Too far away.
All right, everybody up?
Rebel, Chris, and someone's behind Chris, I think.
Come and have a seat, guys.
I will get you after. We're going to sit up here.
I'm up top. I gotta sit in the seat. Unfortunately, guys, I'm gonna let everybody know, I can't stay for the whole thing. I gotta roll out. We have another function we have to go to. So like 3 or 4 of us are gonna get up in the middle of the meeting. I apologize for that.
Yeah, sure.
Just let you know.
Bullshit! Excuse me. Sorry.
Sorry, where are you?
Just saying.
I want
That's a
this
call
stuff.
out, right?
You do?
You do.
All right, is everybody up from downstairs?
Why is there a back
I
row?
think we got most of it.
Chris is still out there. Oh, here he is, right here.
All right. Well, I'm just saying.
Chris, is that everybody?
I'm positive I sprayed first here.
Take a while.
All right, never mind. Wait for that.
Joe Corona.
We're not way away from the mean and the ruthless.
Well, here we go. We're leaving room for your aura.
All right, for those of you who just sat, let's stand up and do a pledge.
Well, now get up.
Pledge behind us.
Lids off. That's all,
Hands off.
Hats off.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America. To the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barack Obama.
Don't look, yeah. Hey, tiny dancer, don't go far away.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's see. Firstly, everybody, welcome to 588 Norwalk, for you guys that haven't been here. New members, chapters. Looking around the room, and I think everyone has been to at least one meeting before. I want to introduce in the back over here, stand up. This is Roland Alexander. Our new chapter that we're just getting started with Eagle Riders from Torrington, Connecticut, 974. So yeah. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Jones Board.
Hey,
All right, Shelley. Minutes of the last meeting. I hope so.
Okay, meeting called to order at 2:16 p.m. by Ray, President of Eagle Riders 2137, Bridgewater, New Jersey. The treasury report was held by Ethel Warrens and Southbridge, whom in their absence was excused from the report. Steve Rudolph, President, 588 Norwalk, welcomed our newest guests, Milford, PA, and Sleepy Hollow, New York. Steve, as usual, gave a synopsis of the Jamboree meetings thus far, stating 16 clubs have participated in the previous meetings. New business, motion was made and approved to hold 2016 Eagle Rider Jamboree at the South Summerist Art Airy at 2137, located at 350 Woodside Lake, Bridgewater, New Jersey, on the following dates of September 23, 24, 25 of 2016. Friday night, all of Saturday, we had entertainment. On Sunday morning, there will be a breakfast. Discussions and suggestions for the Jamboree. Which hotels will be the best to book for the future event? Will there be another sizable event in the area at the same time? 2137 will look into it and put out a list of area hotels. There were raffling a motorcycle was discussed. Steve Rudolph is putting together an Eagle Rider national database. Advertising and program booklet was discussed. Public relationship, Robert, excuse me if I don't say this correctly. Thank you. Of 2137 suggested all PROs from each club coordinate and have one mission statement for all areas of club. Sending out and save the dates and various flyers geared for a specific audience multiple times and multimedia was discussed. Having guidelines set for future jamborees to follow was suggested. Fundraising for a national organization was discussed and tabled till next meeting. Everyone should research worthy charities for the event. Jamboree Facebook site suggestions of listing officers and their contact info on the site so area officers could coordinate with one another was discussed. Future meetings to remain revolving on the East Coast for the time being. Next meeting was November 14th, but it was changed to today, the 21st. December 12th is 2015 is at Plymouth, Pennsylvania. January's is to be determined. February 20th, 2016, it's going to be in Bridgewater, New Jersey. And then the meeting was adjourned at 4:12 p.m. And this was submitted by Michelle Musara, Eagle Rider Secretary, Somerset area, 2137.
Okay, anybody have any problems, issues, or omissions to those minutes?
Nope.
Okay, then we'll accept them as they were.
Second the motion?
All right, we're gonna do it that way. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes? All in favor? All right, moving on to the treasury report. Our treasurer, Ed Stearns, isn't here. We've actually lost Ed as the treasurer, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute. But he sent me a message, and in our Jamboree fund right now, we have $1,072.30. Can anybody tell me from the last meeting, we did a pass the hat, and did that money ever get up to Ed, or are we holding that as well someplace? If we do, then it's in my bag somewhere. So I think we did a pass the hat last time. It was another couple $100, so there's probably another couple $100 in an envelope that we didn't get up there. So what Ed is going to do, since he is out, is he is going to draw a bank check on the account that they have up there in Southbridge. He's going to send it down here, and we will discuss in a little bit as to what we're going to do with the treasury. We need to hand that responsibility over to somebody else for them to keep track of. So that's what we have right now. Well, like I said, what we had from all the previous, before the last September, was $1,072.30. So Ed's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
If he says that's what we have, that's what we have. Right? So that's the treasury report. A motion on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Okay. Before we move on to communications, because there isn't really any communications other than some commentary, we need to do two things. We have to get a new secretary. The secretary who we had, Becky White from Athol Orange, is having health issues. It's going to be for a while, so she asked to be excused from that position. So we're going to need somebody to step up and be secretary for the Jamboree meetings. Needs to be someone who's going to pretty much try and make all the meetings, or as many as possible. Christopher?
Are you running as nominations, or are you just waiting for someone to volunteer?
I'd be very happy if someone would volunteer, unless we have multiple people, and then we'll have a vote on it. But is anybody willing to do that job? It doesn't have to be a woman. It doesn't have to be an officer, not-officer. It can be anybody who's planning on making the meeting. So someone has to.
One, two, punch.
Stuck, so I'm going.
It's all you, Jill. It's all you, honey.
No, that's easy.
Well, only because I would like to accept TT at that position, and the reason being is, number one, she's already my secretary, and number two, Jill has her hands full being your husband.
This is about ready to choke you down real soon.
It was free from going someplace, but, yeah, Jill has her hands full already. My personal right hand everything, so. If everybody's okay with TT taking over secretary?
Yes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
You want to start now, TT?
Come on.
No better than the president.
Thank you, Shelley. Welcome in. Thank you for Shelley.
Christopher, would you prop that door open? It's a little warm in here. Turn it. Well, you gotta give her the glasses.
Oh, yeah, you want my glasses? DT, want the glasses? Nope.
All right, while we're on it.
Not that old.
Nope.
Same thing, we need to, well, let me just tell you that, Scott Latour from Southbridge, who's president of the Southbridge Eagle Riders, has, jumped out with some of his guys, and they have started an MC up in Southbridge. So as far as, they are still Eagles, but as far as Eagle Riders go, they have jumped out. So our treasury was with Ed Stearns up there, and he's one of the guys that have jumped out with Scott. So again, Ed's gonna send a check down, he's gonna close that account after that check, after it clears, and close that account out. So what we need to do is we need a new treasurer, and we also need to move that someplace to closer to whoever it's gonna be. So I need someone to, again, volunteer, nominate, I need someone to step up to do the treasury. So again, sort of have to kind of be at most of the meetings and just keep track of that stuff, so.
Well, most of the expenditures will be coming out of Bridgewater.
Most of the expenditures, because the event is gonna be in Bridgewater, will be at Bridgewater.
Makes sense that makes sense that the extra year as well.
Who took over as president of Southbridge?
Nobody
We're
yet.
gonna be having nominations.
We don't have officers yet.
Southbridge Eagle Riders are right
We're
behind
still
you.
Is your VP running your
No,
operations right
we
now?
lost all.
We lost them all.
We lost all
Oh,
officers
except for
but
one.
one road captain.
Oh, okay.
So December 3rd, we're doing our nominations.
Good. You know what?
So,
Who
We'll
was
have-
next in line? You should step up and be your.
We'll have new officers by the
Yeah, we gotta-
beginning
Okay,
of
no,
the
I
year.
was just curious who was
Hey,
running.
whoever the next.
One meeting, guys.
I
One
would
meeting.
say
They're all
step up,
gone.
be
They're all gone.
president, man.
They're all gone.
Step up, be president.
well, hold on.
So we're
Shut-
working on it.
We'll let Southbridge deal with that.
Yeah,
Southbridge,
that's
concentrate on Southbridge. So, they,
I was just asking.
their, Eagle Riders in Southbridge is still there, they're still strong, they're still supporting us. And I have to tell you that I spoke, most of you know that I'm very good friends with Scott, and he and I speak somewhat frequently. And he said to me, he said, Steve, he said, our friendship isn't gonna change, we'll always be friends. He said, and my club will definitely still be supporting not only Eagle Riders, they are still Eagles, and they will still be supporting events and stuff like that. So it's not that we've, lost them entirely, they just, moving on to another thing. But Southbridge is intact and still supporting, so. So again, what we need is, we need treasurer. We need treasurer, or we need to move that account someplace. My personal thoughts were that it should be either in Bridgewater or closer to Bridgewater, since that's where the event is gonna be.
Right, well, expended may have to be purchasing or putting money down on stuff way in advance of the Jamboree, so it makes sense that they would have access.
Greg, you got someone that would want to take that role in your club?
Where's Brian?
To take the treasury?
Yeah, now again, it doesn't necessarily have to be in Bridgewater.
No, but
Middletown could do it, one of the PA chapters could do it. Chris?
I have personally, as As for New England East Coast, does Middletown have any responsibilities other than their own rider chapter?
Middletown, not right now.
Might be time to jump in as a responsibility, and just my opinion, but
Well,
I feel like every chapter needs to take a responsibility, and you know, and that's an
I
opportunity
mean, if
for
you
them
wanna
to
put
jump on
it
it. You know?
Wallingford's way, we can find someone who wants to, but it's a ways out. I have some guys and gals that could step up, I'm sure, I mean, can't speak for them, but if we don't fill it today.
I think it'd be wiser to keep the money closer to Jersey, because
Do
you
you,
have expenditures that.
Yeah, well, that's.
Hold on 1 minute here.
Pacific Bank.
Do you think that Middletown would want to take that on?
I think we can. I think we can.
Okay. And the only reason Wallingford was already stepping up, they were already interested in doing wearables and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, we're
So-
still on that.
So, once we get into all these different areas, we're gonna need every chapter to step up and help with certain responsibilities, and take a little piece of this on. So, if you think Middletown is going to take on the treasury, and obviously, a couple of people, down there can sign on to the account and be responsible for it. We know that at least one of you guys tries to make up pretty much everything we have, so. Is everybody okay with Middletown, New York taking over the treasury?
Make a motion. For me to-
Yeah, I mean, are we forcing this on Middletown?
Well, they can delegate.
I mean, you got one guy here saying,
I know.
yeah.
You wanna bring it back to
You're kind of forcing this kind of on Middletown.
All right, let's-
Let's bring it back to the table, bring it back to the membership board.
Yeah, I would think that'd probably be the best.
All right, so why don't we leave Middletown as the nominated people for the treasury? We'll give Brian a chance to go back to his people, and by the time we get to the next meeting, we'll know for sure, and we'll be able to move those funds
I like
there.
I like
Chris?
Sorry, before I move any further, before we move any further, just to be clear, not everyone from every chapter is here. So as for this situation where Middletown, Middletown might be able to take care of it. If you're here representing your chapter and no other officers are here, and you feel like your club can handle it, take it upon yourself and then deal with it when you get to your chapter. Say, listen, I took it, as my chapter, we're gonna handle this. So take it upon yourselves if you're representing your club and there's no one else here, and then delegate it when you get back home. Because it's gotta be done, and, emails and Facebook messages can only go so far. Okay? I figured I'd add on that, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it would kind of.
I thought to throw it down.
All right, so why don't we?
I think that's.
Why don't we table the move for now? We'll leave it as a nomination for Middletown. We'll see what they come back with,
There's not gonna be a problem.
and then you'll let me know. You'll get back to all of us. Let me just tell you that when I say get back to me, only because I'm sort of the communications director for.
You're the state guy.
Well, but this is a national, this isn't
You're
just me,
right,
but I'm
yeah,
sort of
you are
communications director. So, once I get information, I disperse it out to everybody, so that everybody knows what's going on, okay? So that takes care of the treasury, moving the treasury, all right? Communications, we haven't gotten any physical communications that has come into us, but you probably all know by now that we do have a National Jamboree Facebook page. If you haven't found it already, please find that National Jamboree page, visit it, and I put stuff up there as frequently as we have information that needs to go out. And I have to tell you that I get probably 6, 8, 10 new hits, likes, and comments on it every week. And this is from people all over the country. So there's definitely a lot of interest in what we're going to be doing with this National Jamboree. It's not just us chapters that are up here in the Northeast. I have one of my friends on Facebook who I haven't met yet, but I've become quite friendly with. His name is Brian Titus, and he's the president of one of the chapters in Ohio, and he's also the Ohio State Coordinator. He says out there they've been talking about it. They're very excited about it. They're glad that we've set a date. Because they're trying to figure out how many and who's coming and how they're going to get there. So we've been hearing the same thing from other chapters around the country, that they're glad we have a date set because they want to start planning their vacations around the date. So
When can we
good.
stop booking sites?
I might be jumping ship, or jumping ahead, but how are we doing with get the permission now on this?
We have-
Are we way by, I mean, it's been a while since I've been down, well, the last meeting I was to was
All right,
down
so-
at Ray's place. But I
Okay.
mean, wondering how we are doing now with the, you know, the okays from
Coalition.
All the
New
powers.
Jersey, all powers up, and because we had a little issue
So-
prior.
You're
So that's-
talking about from what percentage?
Well,
in general, the total aspect of where we had a little issue.
No,
We were gonna do it in
We don't have
Massachusetts.
one problem there.
Okay.
we
Yeah,
have,
I'm just not worried about there, I'm worried about the, coming out of New York and everywhere else, or surrounding towns.
We don't have a problem.
So.
Rick, you had a question?
Yeah, when can we start getting camping sites and how much are they gonna be? And
For Eagle Riders, it's just, it's gonna be one cost for everybody, admission for the weekend. Cost.
Okay.
We still need to discuss what the cost is gonna be.
How we're gonna work it out with you.
Yeah, that's why we're having these meetings, you know. to
do we
discuss
have,
whatever.
do we have to reserve a campsite or?
No, we have 18 acres there.
I know, I've been there.
Didn't we come up with some prices,
Well,
last?
if we charge, you know, if we, that's what we gotta discuss, you know.
We're gonna work out the pricing details and stuff. As far as having camping space, they have a lot of space.
Why, yeah, I know.
Okay, so for those of you that have been to Bridgewater before, you know they have they have an 18-acre site down there. They are a registered campground. It's dry camping, but, you know, we've been down there before for camping. We run a couple small generators. It gives everybody some lights for their, you know, either in an RV or, you know, a lantern at your tent site. When we did it last year, and we were sort of a jamboree, but not quite a jamboree last year, if you go back into the history. We did have people come from many different places. Some came with RVs, some slept in their truck, some brought a trailer, some brought a camper, and there's a lot of space.
It's probably the only facility we can do it at, is
Well-
this place pretty much right now, unless we move on to different.
Yeah, we do obtain open burn permits, so we will have a bonfire and/or personal campfires.
Now, it'll be one central.
Community fire.
Yeah, community fire.
You're standing around, drink beer.
Timmy?
You know what, nothing on the wooden there last year, we had a girl on her bike, come from California.
Yeah.
On her bike.
Really loud.
That's respect.
Yeah, big time. 3,000 miles.
Fees go to, you're gonna have a saddle on the bike.
Well, again, if we start to get enough interest from outside clubs and from the public that want to come and camp, with these meetings, maybe we'll talk about if we should do some small sort of fee to help, you know, offset the cost of doing this. But I think with our original structure of charging X amount of dollars for the entire weekend, there's really no, other than getting some dollars to the, you know, to Bridgewater's area, there's really no expense to us for them coming and being a part of it. I think especially trying to get the event built to where we really want it to be, which is huge in the future, if we can keep expenses as low as possible so that people feel that they can come without having this large overhead to come to the event, that'll help us to build it up for the future. So we're more worried about making sure that we cover, you know, food and drink and all this other kind of stuff.
Supplies.
Other supplies.
What is our policy to the public and MCs? Or is it an open door policy with all that?
Yeah, this is open. We're hosting it, but this event is gonna be open to the public.
Okay.
So we invite other clubs, you know, obviously all of our chapters,
Because I have
but
some
we're
clubs that are
inviting other
interested when
clubs.
I'm coming down, and I just kind of, you know, relay the message.
Absolutely.
Is that on the page, Steve? Well, MCs are.
We haven't gotten on the page, we haven't gotten beyond save this date for it yet, because we're just really getting kicked forward with these meetings to figure out exactly what we're gonna do, but we'll get into that shortly.
I'm just gonna put out there, we're AMA sanctioned in our state for, chapter 2, I think it is, District 2, AMA. There's a booklet that goes out every year for all the events that are AMA sanctioned clubs. We already put a date in the book for the event, for the weekend event. The booklets will come out January, I believe, mid-January. So January, February's meetings, we'll have booklets, you know, for all the events going on in New Jersey, so.
Okay, Chuck?
I'm just gonna throw it out, where's the money gonna go this year?
That's another thing we're gonna have to
It's
discuss.
another,
We're gonna keep it
That's on the
here, or we're gonna put it back?
That's on the
it's on the agenda, Joe.
All right, so all right, no problem.
Well, I mean, I got it, you know, we're gonna sort it out here pretty soon. So
I know.
I'm just throwing it out.
Well, anything that you miss, we will get out,
Oh,
the
you got it,
minutes,
yeah, you
we'll
got it,
distribute
yeah,
them out
you
to
got
all
it.
the chapters so everybody knows what's going on. But what we discussed at the last meeting was to try and come up with a charity, we felt something that is a national charity, something that will draw appeal not for only people in Connecticut or Jersey or Pennsylvania, but something that will draw appeal from all across the country.
Or worldwide.
Or worldwide, because, you know, the charity that you do an event for is a big, you know, it's a big part of your event. It's the hook that draws people in. When you have an event for kids, people love to, you know, come and support events that are for kids. When you have an event that is for veterans, people love to come out and support events for veterans. So
1820, guys, thanks for coming out.
So, again, what we are looking for, and we need people to start doing some research on this and come back to us with ideas for a charity that will draw a broad appeal from all over the nation. One of the ideas that we talked about was, help me, Larry, the name just jumped out of my head.
Max Bear and St. Jude's Children's
St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Everybody's very, very familiar with what they do. And it's a great organization, and in doing a little research on them already, I've already found out that as opposed to a lot of the other organizations out there, the majority of the money that comes in goes directly to the kids that they help and research for the kids. They're not chewing it up in administration fees.
It's an A-rated.
It is an A-rated charity.
Yeah, that's St. Jude's, right?
That's
Yeah.
St. Jude's. The other one that I thought about, and I haven't done any research on the numbers yet, but I'm sure the Grand has, because the Grand area is very supportive of the Jimmy Durante Fund. Everybody's heard of the Jimmy Fund. If you haven't heard of the Jimmy Fund, they used to collect in all the movie theaters and stuff. But the Jimmy Durante Fund is also for for kids. And that's one of the charities that the Grand supports on their site and around the country. And one of the benefits to doing that is that one of the reasons that we're doing this jamboree and getting all these chapters together is we're trying to get ourselves a lot more representation with the Grand. Eagle Riders, I mean, those of us that are here, we already know how important Eagle Riders is to the Eagles Club. Those who I've spoken to that are from state level, that are from regional levels, and people from the Grand, they realize that the Eagle Riders is probably the fastest growing portion of the Fraternal Order of Eagles. We're bringing in membership, we're bringing in charity dollars, we're bringing in money to our own chapters and bringing in a lot of bar money. So we're doing good things. Lots of bar money. Lots of money. Recognition. So by doing this event on a national level and doing it at something that the Grand says, wow, they're really doing, helping us out. Hopefully it'll get us some more recognition within the Grand. Just an idea, but there's a million charities out there. Every time you turn it back, there's another charity that's looking to raise money. So I encourage every one of you to research charities, especially national ones, and come to us with ideas. And the internet is a wonderful thing. If you go on the internet and ask, and research, what percentage of their monies is actually going to the people that they're trying to help. Rick?
If you choose the Grand Aries charities, that's going to carry a lot more weight with them.
Well, I had that thought as well.
I'm getting into the politics of all this stuff, and that will carry weight with them if you pick their
Let me
charity.
just add one thing. Doing something like that, where you're gonna donate money to something either the Grand does or your own area donates money to. And as far as our area, we make a motion to, make a donation. just carries a lot more weight, you know, going
Right.
to something that the home area that, you know, you're from.
Right.
Eagle Rider chapter and or like I said, the Grand area, you know, you get a lot more support. So just something to think about.
All right, so let's all, oh, go ahead, Kenny.
When you research the charities, they have an A to F system. So if you're getting an A or B rated charity, most of the money's going back to what the charity represents. Like the Wounded Soldiers is a D minus.
Yeah.
A lot of that money is going to CEOs, COOs.
Yeah, the soldiers get about 12 to 18% of that money.
That's about
We just
17%,
did something
yeah.
there.
Yeah, which is-
We waived that, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in similarly here in Connecticut, we have every year at 9/11 time, we have the Connecticut United Ride, which when it started out was a great thing, and they were collecting monies that was going to, you know, uniformed firefighters, first responders and stuff like that. Well, last year before the event happened, I found out that they're only actually donating 28 cents on a dollar. And like I told people from my chapter, I said, if you guys want to go ride the ride, bye, Leah. Thanks for coming, sweetheart. It's one of our junior people. She's awesome. I told, you know, my people from my chapter, if you want to go ride the ride and do it, I have no problem with you doing what you want to do. But as far as our chapter was concerned, I cannot support an event where they're only giving 28 cents on a dollar to the fund. So let's do some work on it. Each of you, as you go back to your chapters, let's talk about it and let's do some research and let's come back with some information for the December meeting as to different charity ideas. Joe?
With regards to the charities in the Grand Area, I want to point out that as long as it's a 501c3, which is what you're talking about, if it's not one of the Grand Area charities, you go through the home fund. And as long as you send the money up to the home fund and they send a check back in the same amount, you could do it for any charity that you want. And the Grand will be very happy. But you mentioned St. Jude's Hospital. I was thinking St. Jude's would be excellent before you even mentioned it. And I believe there's actually a whole wing that the Eagles had paid for it, the St. Jude's Hospital. And Danny Thomas was an Eagle.
Oh, yeah.
Marlo Thomas, I believe she still is an Eagle. And she has been at the Grand Convention a few years ago, but
Awesome.
but like I said, home fund is your other option if it's not an Eagle charity. Thanks.
This is Joe Markovich. He is Assistant State Secretary. He's been our State Secretary. He's been involved with the state level and at the Grand for a while, so he's a wealth of information for us. I'm glad he's here. Come and check out what we're doing.
I caution about, I wonder that money given to anything the Grand is favorable to when we do recognition as a separate division.
Well, what happens with
Putting it
that?
as national order of Eagles and not be recognized for our contributions to that would minimize our efforts.
Well, that's one of the things that we, not only that we're gonna be looking at, but we're gonna be insisting on. If we're gonna send this money, we wanna make sure that we're recognized for what we're doing. I don't think it'll be an issue, again, with enough chapters from enough places being involved in it. I don't think they're gonna wanna ignore what we're doing. That would be a very bad idea for them.
And
So.
along those lines, nationwide, how many Eagle Riders are?
I don't have an exact number. I'm working on it. And actually, I'll send this around. I've been working on putting together a database of all Eagle Riders chapters across the country. Okay? It's not the easiest thing because when I called the Grand and I asked Jenny Peterman, I said, is there a database with all Eagle Riders chapters? She goes, well, I can kind of tell you. And I'm like, how is that possible? Does everybody who has a charter, don't you have track of? Well, there's chapters that aren't chartered, there's chapters that weren't chartered, there's chapters that are dark, there's some in the process, there's some that we don't know about, so they don't know. So anyway, if I'll send this around also, if everybody wants to take a look at that. We have over 300 chapters across the country.
Do you have an email?
So I can send that out to everybody. I've been sending it out to all the presidents that I know of and all the, the chapters that I know of. I've been sending it out.
How many of us there are?
I've been trying to find that out. As if by getting information, I've been trying to find out how many members do you have. The presidents that are here know that I've sent it you know, to them and said, how many members do you have? And obviously it fluctuates a little bit. But I can tell you, like Bedford, Indiana is a brand new Eagle Riders chapter. They chartered with 60 members. Okay, so that's big. Okay, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, they're huge out there. I mean, they have really big. A lot of areas, a lot of Eagle Riders chapters. So, yeah, we're big. I mean, you'll see there's, I think I have that broken out by, I don't remember how I did, by state. I think I broke it out by state. So there are a lot.
Could we possibly set a commitment date of what charity we're going to?
Well, why don't we do this? Again, if we can get people to bring us ideas to the December meeting, and then in the December meeting, if we have something that's solid, then we can take a vote on it at that point and say we made a decision. If we're not satisfied with what information has come to us, then we'll delve a little further in. But I would love to be able to make a decision
Why don't we
in
get a
December.
preliminary vote going now? How many close representatives there?
How many different chapters are here today? We got Southbridge, we got Middletown, we've got Norwalk, we've got, all right, hold on, let me go by number. We got 334, we got 544, we got 546, we got 588, we have 640, we have 1042, we have 1106, we have 1820. Who'd I miss? 974, 2137.
1042.
I had this at 1042. So we got about 10 chapters here today?
The bulk of people so far involved in the Jamboree. We can
Pretty
take a
close.
preliminary vote and leave it tabled until we get dissenting votes.
Well, the only thing that, before we take a vote on it, I really want to do a little bit more research on the percentage going back.
I don't know, since what we have already.
All right, what does everybody think from what we've talked about already?
Anybody object to St. Jude? Anybody have a better idea?
No, but.
We're not gonna make a decision on it today, we just get a
It's not,
feeling.
This isn't happening till September, so like, why do we have to rush?
Well, because we
Like,
wanna get something on paper too.
Right.
6 months ahead?
All right.
Why not?
Now,
Why?
rolling?
Also, is there anything local in that area that they have?
Deborah
Because
Hart-
bringing a lot of people into an area usually causes havoc for the
Deborah
family.
Hart-
So we need to give it that
Very
criteria.
big sponsorship of the Grand area also.
I think let's do a little research. My recommendation would be at this point, let's do a little bit more research and then make some decisions at the December meeting.
What everybody's looked into. That's
Yeah,
what you're
and
asking for.
let's continue to look.
Everybody looked into it.
I just want to throw something out there real quick. Deborah Hart Long, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. Is anybody familiar with Deborah Hart Long?
I've never heard of that one.
Oh. I know our area and the Grand area donates a lot of money to that, and let me tell you, if one of us is sick and in need, there's no waiting list to go in there. If you have insurance or not, they'll take it. They'll bring it right in. So that's for children and adults all around.
Let's, again, my suggestion would be, let's bring that information, let's get that information, see if you can come with some facts. See if you can come with some facts and figures to the December meeting.
It's a hospital.
So let's try and bring some facts and figures to the December meeting, and we'll make a more definite issue on it from there, okay? So let's table that for now. Let's move on, so you got a lot of stuff to cover. Okay, committee-wise, in order to put on an event of this size, we're gonna need every one of the chapters involved to help with certain pieces of it, okay? Let me just go through the list first of pieces of it. So we got,
Let me,
go ahead.
I just want to jump on here real quick. With committees, if anybody could be down there Thursday to start helping out, that'd be awesome. The first thing is people coming in, especially the early campers. We need a sign-in area where they can just pull in. They can pay, get a wristband for the weekend or whatever it may be, however we're gonna do it. So they're all paid for the whole weekend and we know they're there and they're good. And people, tell them where to park, or where to camp and this and that. So that's gonna be one of the first committees, is actually people actually coming in.
You guys have to block it out by, self-contained self-contained RVs,
Yeah,
trailers,
yeah, yep.
campers.
Yep.
Tent
And
area.
if
Yeah,
you're committed, you gotta be.
We're good with that.
Yeah, we'll take care of
That's
that.
just somebody with an RV and all the way in the back, so like, yeah, I need to go.
No, that'll be all good.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
So let me just go down the list of what I have here now, and if I'm missing something, that'll be the time. So I got site logistics, I got food and beverage, I got entertainment, I got the program ad book, advertising and promotion, the charity, wearables and memorabilia, vendors, security and accommodations, camping hotels, and then you got raffles, which we will have a 50-50, we'll have donated prize raffles, and we also talked about doing a motorcycle raffle. So those are the areas right now which we're gonna need a lot of help with. And again, if we can get different chapters to step up and say, our chapter will take care of this portion. For instance, 588 is taking care of the program ad book, okay? We're gonna be trying to sell ads to every area, every auxiliary, every Eagle Riders group, businesses, friends, neighbors, everybody possible, and we'll have, you know, everything from full-size ads down to business card size ads, and I don't have the sheet in front of me, but we actually put pricing together on it, being like $25 for a business card, up to like $250 for a full-page ad. This is your gravy money, okay? This is money that comes in that, other than printing the book, which hopefully we'll get someone to donate doing for us, this is all gravy money. Comes in and there's no expenditure involved with it. So it's gonna be big, and we're gonna be pushing that starting very shortly. I'm gonna start sending out emails and letters all over the country, trying to get ads from all over the place. We can raise a lot of money just on program ad book. So 588 is handling that program ad book. We had volunteers do that before, and we're gonna hold that. Site logistics, obviously, I think 2137 should head that up, obviously, because it's gonna be at their facility. But just because they're doing it doesn't mean people from other chapters can't help them on that, or any other committee that we're doing. So, going through the list, we're gonna need someone to head up food and beverage. Again, even though it's in Bridgewater, we're still gonna need someone to head that up.
All right, the cooking of the food, I know for Saturday, I'm definitely having my barbecue up.
Yeah.
That Wednesday or Thursday, most likely Wednesday, the shopping's gonna be done for food. If anybody knows of donations of meats, cheese, whatever, any donations,
Breakfast food.
anything, let us know so we don't have to buy it. Because usually, it's hard to get people to donate food, it is. If anybody knows of anybody that will donate food, and it's not green yet, we'll take it.
So yeah.
The vendors and the accommodations, we can take care of that. If you do know vendors that wanna come down, just let us know. Just tell them to come, you know, it's just, that's pretty much, whatever donation they make, or we wanna charge our vendors, I don't know if they do that all about.
Good. All right, what is everybody's feeling? Should we charge vendors for a space?
Yes.
Let me just put it out there. Whenever we had an event, we never actually charged them. We asked them for a donation of one of their things that they're selling,
For tricky trade, door prize.
whatever, you know, we never actually charge them. A lot of people that do have vendors, they do charge. And we've been getting more and more vendors there because we don't charge them, we just ask them for $25 or a $50.
As long as they do that, that's cool.
Yeah.
An item donation.
If they don't wanna donate, then it's
Maybe we, maybe.
$30 or $50.
Everyone would have got there.
Well, maybe what we should do as far as vendors go is maybe we should give them the option of either pay for the space or
Yes.
donate an item of such and such a value
Yeah.
to bring them in.
And we've had vendors that camped there for the entire period, you know, selling their wares for 3 days.
Yeah.
And they were tickled to death to actually know that they could do that.
And they did donate.
She danced around practically.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
All right, so again, we're gonna need someone to head up vendors. be responsible for soliciting vendors and taking care of getting them to sign up and wanting to be there. So again, if at any point you say, all right, our chapter will do this or that, please feel free, because at some point, if we don't get all the chapters to help us run the event, then what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to start assigning it out to people to get it done, because Ray and I and Larry, we can't do the whole thing, okay? We need help, you know?
But with the food and everything also, we're gonna need people to help flip burgers and dogs, or roll the dogs and flip the burgers. Sign sheets
half an hour.
Yeah, if we just get a sign-up sheet made up, an hourly
Yeah,
or an
hour
hour
at
and a
a
half
time.
sign-up sheet throughout a couple of days.
But we're still gonna need one chapter to step up and say, I will oversee this portion of it, okay? So, again, site logistics, that'll stay at 2137, but everybody sign up and give them a hand with that. Food and beverage, we did have, for last year's event, the original one, which didn't happen, we had Bazzuto's, they were gonna donate like 700 pounds of hot dogs and 700 pounds of hamburgers and send it down with a refrigerator truck. We'll try and see if they're still on board with that. But again, any other place, especially the large purveyors of food and stuff like that, if we can get them to jump on board and help out, that would be good. Everything that we get donated is more money that'll end up going to a charity. Joe?
Well, some of our members too, like, we just got a new member, he works for, what's that? Not Whole Foods, but one of those places. He gets like 20% off whatever he gets. So 20% is a lot too, so if anybody works for any, you know.
Stearns will usually sell us the stuff for our parties or whatever at cost.
Great.
Something to consider too is when choosing the charity,
Right.
if you go to a vendor looking for a donation, food, i.e. whatever it is that we're talking about, you say something nationally recognized, like we're doing this for St. Jude Children's Hospital.
Right.
A children's charity tugs at people's heartstrings. You know, that's nationally recognized, you know, you say, you know, Max Bear or Jimmy Durant, what's that, I mean, you know, to us, we all know what that is. But saying something that is nationally recognized, just keep that in the back of your mind.
Somebody jump in.
I'm gonna put myself out there for entertainment.
Okay. We also, aside from bands, obviously they're down in your area, we had our Halloween dinner dance here. The band that we had, which was Connecticut Undercover, they were so excited about, you know, what we did here. They donated the majority of the fee that they were supposed to get paid for the night. They said, put it back into your charity. And when I mentioned the National Jamboree and I told them it was gonna be in Bridgewater, they're like, yeah, that's like what, on the other side of the bridge? Absolutely, we're in. So they're very interested in doing it, and I believe that we probably can get a bunch of different bands to donate their time, at least in the majority, to come and play a little bit. Because what we want to have is we want to have music on Friday night, we want to have music all day and all night on Saturday. So the more different, you know, groups that we can get down there and just keep flopping them and switching them over, it'll give us different tastes of music and a different look. So
1042 had a good band down there the other day.
they had a very good band.
Yeah.
They'd be excited.
Yeah.
I was talking with them, they'd be excited,
See?
donate some time too.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good.
So again, for, you know, from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, you guys, where you guys at? Okay, so from Bridgewater, you're about what, hour 45 from Bridgewater? About 45 minutes. So a band from your area, again, is very close. From us, it's about an hour and a half. From Sleepy Hollow, a little closer. So bands in your area, you know, certainly they've traveled farther than that to go play gigs. So just get people that you know, approach them. Let's see what we can get for bands.
The one band we had for the one event we had, I think only one guy in the band wanted to get paid.
Because he's a professional musician, that's what he does. So we paid that band, I think, $200 for about 7 or 8.
They only actually asked for $100, and we gave them $200. And there was a
seven or 8 piece band.
8-piece band.
Nine counting me.
Yeah, you, come on, it's on there.
I'm just gonna talk about bands. Our fiscal year for laying out money, we are already done. So right now, we started our first event we did last night. We had an open mic night, so we're raising money for next year already. I like to see our goal for us, 2137, to put more money into us and a little bit out to charity. I hate to say that, but we need help at our club. So we were thinking about raising money for a stage.